Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you for the technical team. Welcome, I'm Audrey, Joachim, Director of Direct Operation and Growth at Ana Innovation. Welcome to the second episode of Islands and Finance series with climate trade today. Each week we are interviewing and getting to know a finance organization that work for climate change and have an impact on Earth, and it's a part of our actions around the Island Finance Forum that will happen in April 25th to 28th. So we're very happy to have you all. I'm very happy to have today Ana Karen Zapata, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Climate Trade. Hi Ana. Hope you're
Hello, Audrey. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here today.
Well, we're very happy about it. Thank you very much for joining this episode today. So you're part of Climate Trade. It's a company that connects companies willing to offset their carbon emissions to environmental projects. And you use the technology of blockchain, which is actually a revolution in terms of environmental offsetting, pardon my French. And so, Ana, can you tell us what are carbon credits and carbon offsets for the people who don't know what is it?
Of course, yes. Carbon credits are actually units of carbon removal or avoidance from sustainable project, actually, the environmental or sustainable projects. So each carbon credit is the corresponding of 1 ton of CO2 equivalent. To make you an idea, if you are at a forestation project in Colombia, you can calculate the amount of carbon that the trees you are planting can absorb. Get this calculation audited and then emit carbon credit based on this. So then you can sell these carbon credits in order to raise financing to your project. Usually, and there is a problem, usually carbon credits and carbon offset are used like synonymous, but there are some differences between these two words, actually. Carbon credits offset suggests that their only purpose is to allow offsetting of emissions by companies, but people can decide to buy carbon credits simply to support the climate mitigation projects and sustainable development, of course. And it's not necessary to offset their emissions,
Okay, and so what is carbon trading and how does it work then?
Well, carbon trading is simply the buying and selling of carbon credits. Typically, project developers try to sell these credits generated from the project either through a broker or a digital marketplace like Climate Trade. No? So in the case of a broker, this is an intermediated sale. So a company gets in touch with the broker to purchase these carbon credits and the broker arranges the purchases. So the problem here, and there is why we create Climate Trade, that the problem with the traditional carbon market, the broker sole process, is that there is no transparency at all on the price of the credits and any transaction fees, how much the money actually ends up in the hands of the project developers themselves. So as I said, this is why we create Climate Trade, where the project developers control the sale of their carbon credits from the beginning to the end, set the price on the platform and communicate directly with the buyers. And there are no hidden fees. Actually, we show all the information regarding the operation with everyone in the platform.
Okay, and so that's very interesting. That's why I guess the blockchain technology comes into place, the ability to track everything. So what are the benefits and the positive impact of carbon trading? I decide to trade my carbon credits. So what are those benefits, and how, yes, for the environment, what are the positive impacts?
Yeah, sure. Well, if done well, carbon trading has many positive impacts, actually. It allows people to, companies, as I said before, doesn't matter, to measure and mitigate their climate impact. And the direct financing flows towards the project that work every day to preserve this planet. Many of those projects go far beyond climate mitigation, bringing positive impact to their surrounding communities, and contributing the sustainable development goals, SDGs. So based on United Nations, of course. For polluting companies, the exercise of offsetting the carbon footprint forced them first, of course, to calculate and then come to the terms with their impact on the environment. The problem is when the carbon offsets are seen as a miracle solution, that spares companies from having to reduce their carbon emissions in order to meet these goals with the Paris Agreement. And we need to first reduce our carbon footprint, then offset, and what is impossible to abate, actually.
And so what are the challenges that you would highlight to this process?
Nice question. There are a lot of challenges, actually. A lot of challenges that can prevent the use of carbon trading to its full potential. For example, first, of course, the lack of standardization in this space means that it's not always clear what constitutes a good carbon credit or offset, We need to international community to set minimum quality guidelines. Actually, the good news is that there is starting to happen. For instance, with the establishment of the core carbon principle, by the Task Force on Scaling Voluntary Carbon Markets. And of course, second, as I mentioned before, there isn't enough transparency in these carbon markets, which makes some people and companies worry about the money they spend to offset the carbon footprint doesn't end up in the hands of the climate mitigation project. This is a relative easy to solve with this digitalization, as we have done in climate trade. Now we use blockchain technology to ensure that the traceability of carbon offset transactions.
And so I believe, we talked about blockchain. So when you talked about transparency, how do you apply blockchain technology through climate change, and why is it important? Is there any additional importance than the transparency? How does it work?
As you mentioned from the beginning, it's our value proposition. I mean, every carbon trading transaction in climate trade is recorded on a distributed ledger. So that means it's an immutable and fully traceable. So you can verify that the transaction has been done properly. So as soon as they conclude a transaction, clients receive a certificate with the details about the specific project they contribute and the blockchain transaction key, the hash blockchain that is called. Of course, our use of blockchain provides transparency and traceability, as I say, to the carbon market, and ensures that the money goes ensures that the money companies spend to offset the carbon footprint actually ends up in the hands of the climate mitigation project developers.
And who verifies the carbon credits in this this implementation?
Well, carbon credits can be verified with certified, official, recognized entities, including, for example, as I said, United Nations, the CDM registry, or the Verified Carbon Standard by BERRA, the gold standard, that it's the same registry name. But it's important for companies to purchase carbon credit that have been verified. It's the only way to guarantee that there is a quality impact.
And how can company offset carbon emissions then?
Of course, it's a process that is not only about to offset. First of all, and it's something that we always say, the first thing is to calculate, of course, your emissions, and depending the size of your company, the sector, methodology, etc., a lot of factors, you should base on a calculation on a greenhouse gas protocol. So the first thing is to calculate. Then there is something that this can be a challenge. Because it's quite difficult. It's depending, as I say, different factors. But anyway, there are calculators available to help you. In fact, in climate change, we have different calculators for the construction sector, airlines, mobility, and we are developing more and more because it's something that companies are needing as we are based on this B2B model. So after the calculation, of course, and before the offsetting, you have to reduce as much as possible your emissions, making more efficient the processes and so on. And finally, only then, just then is when you should offset the reminder of your emissions by purchasing carbon credits from, of course, as I said before, a climate mitigation project, but certified with these entities. So you will probably, as a company, be required to report on your carbon offsetting activities, which is why the transparency and traceability is so relevant. And of course, it's crucial for you as a company. Climate trade is there to help. We were born to help companies to fulfill its most ambitious commitments regarding sustainability. Of course, our core business is offsetting, but we are creating an ecosystem that helps companies to achieve these commitments. So we can guide every single company in this world, and we can help and support companies to be net zero before 2050. That is the end. The deadline for the world. We need to achieve this decreasing of the temperature before this 2050.
And so, quick question. So I understand very easily. Thank you very much for clarifying the process. So we calculate, we reduce it. You can help those organizations to reduce as much as they can, right? Is there, because sometimes, and maybe that's very simple questions, but how do you measure how to decrease? Is there, depending on the activity of the company?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as I said, we are not focused on the reduction side because, as you say, it's a world, because every single company has processes, value chains, and different processes related with the production. But of course, there are many aspects if you consume, for example, renewable energy, it's a way to reduce your carbon footprint, your carbon emissions, sorry. It's a way to, reduce the bill, because carbon offsetting is about, you have to pay, you have to support economical different projects. So there are many different ways, and there are in internet actually a lot of manuals or dossiers about the good practices in this sense.
Okay, and would you mind, telling us or give us a story about a case that you worked on, that you may be proud or
well,
a case
yeah, sure.
That you can take example.
I would like to tell you something about climate trade, because of course our business is related with the carbon offsetting, but it's not only this. We already work with big companies as Santander Bank, Cabify, Meli Hotels, a lot of companies internationally, and we are proud to every single day be the climate neutral partner of these companies. No clients, because we are partners more clients than clients. So, but the thing is that 2 or 3 years ago, I don't remember exactly the date, we developed another tool. It's not we of course launched the marketplace, but we developed another tool, digital tool. It's an API. It's kind of a bridge technology, digitalizing bridge. So, and with this bridge, with this API, we can connect or we can help companies to offset the carbon emissions of their own customers. So it's a B2B2C model, and we are proud of this because we are just always seeing that it's something relevant, because you need to control your scope 3 or in the calculation system, and you with this API you can offer the carbon offsetting service to your customers. I can put it an example. Telefonica, we already work with them, of course, and we have integrated our API into their systems. They have they launched a portal called 2.com or 2.com in Spanish, and they sell only carbon neutral devices there, and it's thanks to climate trade. So you can buy a phone, and you are gonna receive at home a carbon neutral device. And that's something amazing because, as I say, the client receives a certificate with the hash blockchain that proves that everything is transparent and the money went to the source. So we are really proud about that, no? Because and with different companies, we are doing the same. So offer the possibility to offer carbon neutral products and services. It's something that, I mean, it's a big step because we are pioneer on that.
That's very interesting to see also how you actually create extra value to the company and are able to also provide, we can provide for the growth of Earth or preservation.
And you know what, Audrey, really, I mean, this is something about carbon offsetting. Is not only, as I say, it's not only about companies. Every single person has an impact on the Earth. So we need to participate in these processes, even when we are purchasing a device or we are just traveling somewhere. I don't know. I mean, with every single thing that we are doing in our lives, in our every single day, in our routine, we are emitting CO2. So participate thanks to these companies that are our providers in this carbon neutrality. It's amazing as a citizen, as a user, and of course, as a company.
That's very inspiring, and I love that kind of message. So, Anna, our audience and our network are around sustainable development, but also very located in islands territories. How would you, to them, relate that climate trade, carbon offsetting, and community and territories of islands? Would you,
Sure. It's directly connected. I mean, it's depending how you want to see it, no? But actually, it's directly connected. As you know, of course, islands are disappearing because the increasing of the sea level, no? So, and it's because the global warming. So, we need to stop to emit carbon emissions, or we need to be or take care about how we do everything in order to avoid this 1.5 degrees plus in the Earth. So it's directly connected. I mean, it's gonna impact directly in the islands if we don't start to do the things properly regarding the sustainability. And of course, not only as a company, also as a citizen. So, and in another hand, there are many things that the islands are just paying. And I say pain because it's the consequence of our acts. I mean, in the other countries, we are polluting the sea, the oceans. We are just all the time emitting more CO2, and it's something that it's impacting directly to the islands, not only because the increasing of the sea level, it's also about the biodiversity, how we are just killing the biodiversity. We are just, we are actually, you know what, if we don't stop this 1.5 increasing of the temperature of the Earth, we are exposed to live the 6th massive extinction. And this is real. This is something that IPCC say. So it's something real. So everything is related.
Yes, I agree. And then that's thank you very much for making that correlation. And again, it's here about, taking a stand, and as an individual, as you saying how we can, create an impact in what we do as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as an employee, and anyone. So it's very nice to hear and get to know about carbon offsets. Thank you very much, Anna, for joining us today. And thank you for everyone who joined us in the session. I can remind everyone that we are hosting the Island Finance Forum on the 25th to the 28th, and you will know more about this topic and many more topics around finance, climate change, and the islands territories. So I will definitely will be there at each networking session to mingle with you, And I made a mistake, it's 25th to 29. So thank you again for my amazing colleague Christian that I will give a shout out today. So yeah, Anna, any final word for us?
Actually, of course, I just want to say that we are here for you to, as a company, as a citizen or whatever. Of course, Climate is here to help you through the process, and of course, don't hesitate to contact us in case you are looking to improve this world. So, and thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation, and it's my pleasure to participate with you always.
Thank you, Anna, and well, I see everyone next week for the 3rd episode of the series, and also during the event at the end of April. Thank you, everyone.